a.m. Clerk, you may read the order paper.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I would like to acknowledge the presence of in the public gallery in the morning session, visiting students, pupils and teachers from Kericho Mixed Day and Boarding Primary and Junior Secondary School in Kipchebor Ward. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to the assembly, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the assembly, wish them a fruitful visit. Thank you. Secondly, honorable members, we have a request from National Bank of Kenya. There'll be a small session requesting to have a brief session with the members of the county assembly. Hospital, a request for medical outreach program by South Rift Hospital Kericho, and they're proposing for a medical outreach program with the county assembly of Kericho, and they'll be visiting us in the course of today. Thirdly, we have fourthly, we also have a request from the Mission Police Service for a request for financial assistance amounting to 7,000 shillings to complete a charge toilet in the area. And lastly, we have also from the Ministry of Interior and Commission of National Government invitation for Men's Day. The Kericho Medium Prison Organizing Committee and Prison Welfare Association invite the County Assembly of Kericho in celebrating this year's Men's Day on 18th June. This is past, sorry. This is time back. So I think this was previous communication. So before we proceed on, like I've said, there are students from Kericho Mixed Day Primary School and Junior Secondary School from Kipchebor Ward, whom I represent, and I welcome them today for this session. And since I'm sitting today as the chair of the day, I would like to give it to a few honorable members to welcome the students from the Kericho Mixed Day Primary and Junior Secondary School. Now we'll start with Leader of Majority, then I'll give to Vice Chair Education and also Leader Majority Emeritus. So welcome, Honorable Philip Broner, Leader Majority.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you've given to me, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me take this opportunity to extend welcome to Kericho Day Primary School students, both, I think they are boys.
Yes, let me, just a clarification. This used to be called Kericho Boys Boarding Primary School.
Kericho Boys Boarding.
But now they are now called Kericho Day Mixed Primary and Junior Secondary School.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the correction. Mine maybe is to do maybe brief introduction to the students as I welcome them to the County Assembly of Kericho, where we transact businesses that touches majorly on the default functions and some that are not actually default. We do legislation here. This is actually a replica of the National Assembly. It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that today we had a lot of coincidence that majority of our members are attending to a meeting in Nakuru. Otherwise, students could have find the full house of 47 honorable members seated here doing a lot of businesses that touches on our county government. Otherwise, maybe a brief is that the county assembly is just a complete replica of the National Assemblies. They transact business that touches on the national government. We do here business that touches on the county government. Otherwise, teachers and students, welcome to Kericho County Assembly. Maybe next time, Mr. Speaker, when we'll be having several business to transact, we'll still extend invitation to them. They will see how discussion and debate is taking place in this house. It's normally very warm, but today, because of the many businesses that has forced majority of our honorable members to attend in Nakuru, I know you are not lucky as such, but next time, I know you will get the best. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And maybe to inform students, when you go back home, you've seen the representative from your area is now our boss here, is guiding the debate here. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Leader Majority. Honorable Vice Chair Education, Matthew Korir. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity also to welcome students from Kericho Mixed Day GSS and Primary School. Mr. Speaker, it is a great honor to have them here today so that they can understand what are the procedures in this honorable house, Mr. Speaker. I want also to really thank the teachers and the entire community of Kericho Day Mixed Junior Secondary for allowing these students to come and learn here today. As the Vice Chair Education, I want to confirm to them that after this session, we'll give you enough time to interact with us and even to interact with your area MCA. And even as the Department of Education will be able even to give you an overview of what we are doing in this county assembly. My name is Kipuri Korir Matthew, MCA representing Chaik Ward. Your area MCA is my neighbor in boundaries and come to administration. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I urge all the honorable members in Education Department also to really remain behind when we are giving the opportunity also to students to learn more on what we are doing here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Matthew Korir. Honorable Hensman Ngetich.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you have given me, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to second or support or echo the welcoming of teachers, students, pupils of Kericho Day Mixed Primary School from Kipchebor Ward, and I want to tell them you are most welcome to this legislative arm of the county government. This is the county assembly, and as you have been told, this is exactly a replica of the National Assembly and the Senate. In Kenya, we have a total of 49 assemblies or parliaments in Kenya. 47 are county assembly representing each county because we have 47 county assemblies. And then the 2 is the National Assembly, which is parliament, and the upper house, which is the Senate. And the major roles of the county assemblies, like Kericho County Assembly, is to do legislation, representation, and oversight on matters related to county governments. The national government or the National Assembly, which is parliament, is doing majorly representation, legislation, and oversight to the national government, to the national executive. And the Senate is, again, a upper house which majorly do oversight and representation on behalf of counties and counties in Kenya. So exactly what we are doing here is a replica of what is being done at the National Assembly. And we are so glad that you chose to visit us, and we are saying you are most welcome so that you learn and know how you can, how this house transact businesses. And you can draw your inspiration there, because most of you students, you are aspiring to be great people in future, leaders, you are aspiring to be doctors and whatever. So those who are pursuing to be lawyers, those who are pursuing to be leaders, you are drawing your inspiration here. And it's luckily because you are representative from Kipchebor Ward, member of County Assembly, is the Deputy Speaker in this third County Assembly. So in solidarity with him, we are welcoming you. Feel free to learn and interact. After this session, you will get more opportunity to learn on the setup and the running of the businesses. Most of the things we are doing at the County Assembly is legislation, oversight on matters related to activities which are devolved. And the most functions which were devolved, except education, security, international assembly. So most of the other functions are default. So I want to say you are most welcome and feel free. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity you have granted me. So before I sit, Mr. Speaker, allow me to put a few comments, Mr. Speaker, about the visit by the President of the Republic of Kenya last week. We were privileged that the President visited our county last week, Mr. Speaker. Despite the fact that we were faced by some few challenges, Mr. Speaker, we want to say he is most welcome. And it was a learning lesson, Mr. Speaker, that going forward, when there is high-level dignitaries visiting our county, Mr. Speaker, I think it's a high time we reorganize ourselves, Mr. Speaker, so that we can get a proper approach on how to welcome and on how to conduct ourselves and on how to present our issues, Mr. Speaker. It was so unfortunate on the embarrassment which was made to the most of the county assembly members, Mr. Speaker, because there was no proper planning, Mr. Speaker, whereby most of the members were harassed. They were not given proper welcoming. So I think, Mr. Speaker, through your leadership and the administration of the assembly, it's high time you sit down and draw a good working methodology in case of any dignitaries coming. And it was not the first time, Mr. Speaker. Remember, the previous 2 weeks again, Mr. Speaker, His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, visited Kericho County on a tea forum, Mr. Speaker. And he was here for almost 4 days, Mr. Speaker. And it was so unfortunate, again, Mr. Speaker, as members of the County Assembly, we were not granted an opportunity to sit down, Mr. Speaker, so that we can air out some of the issues, Mr. Speaker. Right now, Mr. Speaker, there is a high crisis in coffee growing areas, Mr. Speaker. And which, if it not be addressed, Mr. Speaker, is going to be a problem in future, Mr. Speaker. Remember, there was a directive by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to cut off the cartels which are meandering on the issue of tea and coffee, Mr. Speaker. So once the Deputy President declared that, Mr. Speaker, he went ahead and provoked all the licenses for the marketers, for the brokers, and in that connection, Mr. Speaker, Nairobi Coffee Exchange, which is mandated in marketing and buying and selling of coffee in Kenya, Mr. Speaker, is closed down. The directors of NCE, their term has expired and it needs to be renewed. What does that mean, Mr. Speaker? right now, Mr. Speaker, in where we are coming from, coffee growing areas, this is now a time of coffee picking season. And when you go to the factories, Mr. Speaker, we have a lot of coffee in stores, cherries, Mr. Speaker. But we don't have where to sell this coffee because the marketers, the brokers, their license has been revoked. So what does that mean? We are having coffee at our stores, but we don't have where to sell. So that is a crisis because some of us, we are coming from coffee growing areas and we majorly depend because that is the only cash crop we are depending on. So if we don't sell coffee, Mr. Speaker, coming next term, Mr. Speaker, the locals or the families from our areas will not be able to meet their daily needs of paying school fees, feeding their children, because we have picked the coffee. It has been kept in stores, but there is nowhere to sell. And those are some of the issues which we were hoping when we meet these national leaders, we'll get a forum so that we air out, Mr. Speaker. So that is a crisis at hand, Mr. Speaker, which need a proper discussion. Because going forward, if that issue cannot be handled, I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, it will be a crisis over the entire country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Those are the things which we need to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader Majority Emeritus, for those remarks. Lastly, I want, in the interest of also gender, and we had a large group from the school. As you've seen, members, that there's a new group which has come, the same school, and so that they can also feel welcomed. I want to give to Honorable Edna Tanui to welcome these students. Just to, as an honorable member from this house, I want to give Honorable Edna Tanui to welcome these pupils from Kericho Day Mixed Boarding Primary and Junior Secondary School, so that we can end the session. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me this opportunity, maybe to welcome our pupils and teachers from, you say it?
It's Kericho Day Mixed Boarding Primary and Junior Secondary School.
Kericho Mixed Day Junior Primary Secondary School. You are most welcome to this assembly of Kericho County Assembly. It's a privilege for you and also for us to meet you here today. We are very happy to see you. And if you have heard from our honorable members that most of you are aspiring to be leaders, to be doctors. I think this is a learning place for you, and you have learned what we normally do here. It's also our happiness because you are coming from Kipchepor, where our Deputy Speaker, Eric Bates, is coming from. So we feel we are very happy with him. He's doing us a great work. Welcome and feel free here. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, honorable members, for the time you have accorded the pupils from Kericho Day Mixed Boarding Primary and Junior Secondary School. We want to welcome you. For the group that joined us in the gallery, you are much welcome to this session. So clerk, continue with the order paper.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
So, honorable members, there being no other business, this assembly stands adjourned until today at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Thank you.